We know exactly what he's capable of with that one. We talked about Riven, that he wasn't banned, wasn't picked in game number 1, but it suits Febiven, it's his main champion, and he's going to have the chance to show it against this Zed from NukeDuck.
And I think it's a good matchup for Febiven. You know, he traded pretty evenly with the NukeDuck's Lulu in the previous game. Cloud9 decided to ban that Lulu for this particular match. And we're seeing slightly more standard mid laners, if I can even use that term. But like I said, there's a lot of pressure on Febiven to get ahead of NukeDuck early. If he falls behind and if NukeDuck can, you know, get some good harass, get good poke down, maybe NukeDuck can grab control of the lane, which I think he's going to try to look for.
So we're talking about, you know, he said Annie Jinx going to have the better of the early game here against Ninjas in Pyjamas, but we're actually seeing Cloud9 instigating a lane swap up here and sending their duo to the top side.
I wonder if this isn't a little bit of a psych out. I wonder if Cloud9 maybe anticipated a lane swap from Ninjas in Pyjamas, and that's why they were putting their duo top. We'll have to see if they try to avert that. Alternatively, if Cloud9 want to try and get an early tower, and then start rotating their duos to the mid and you know, play the map game, that could also work in their favor. You're never going to get as much tower pressure from a melee champion like Leona in comparison to the range of Annie.
See how that one all works out from there. This mid lane, Febiven versus NukeDuck, obviously playing two very different champions this time around. It was a Lulu versus Kale matchup last time, as Febiven hits level 2, and you saw him already moving forward aggressively on towards NukeDuck, and he's going to continue to put down that pressure onto him.
Yeah, the stun just missing NukeDuck though, so couldn't get any additional auto attacks down onto Nuke, so Nuke gets away scot-free from the level 2 little poke, but Febiven's waiting for 3. Generally, when you see Rivens having all 3 abilities, Q, W, and E available, then they can start poking and getting in there. We actually see Zoro using his teleport very early on, and also look that Odoam there also has teleport. He wants to maybe play that roaming game or play the map just a little bit more.
Are we going to see a 3-man dive coming in? Actually, Co is... Oh no, they saw him there. They saw the back end of his Spiderlings, I think, just headed off around the corner as that ward came in. So Zoro's already backed away. He knows that his jungle is compromised there, and as such, they're bringing Shaka up to try and help them defensively on that one. You can see that Cloud9, they're going to be happy with how that is. That's a good cocoon coming out max range from Co. Gives them even more time to hammer away on the tower.
Now we do see the Ninjas in Pyjamas look like they're performing a lane swap. They're going to try and defend this tower. They do not want Cloud9 to get ahead early with this, because oh, they've got Shaka!
They've gone in there. Shaka goes down. First blood. That was a very strange scenario. They need to be careful here though. Co is very low. There is the stun coming in. Tennis blade misses from Mithy. Co does get slowed though. Will jump up there. Goes back to the minions, which actually I think means a kill for Zoro. Zero here. But Zoro himself going super low. One more will do it. Yarn just can't finish it off. Exhausted takes the tower hits. And now Freezer's coming in. Zenith blade lands onto him. Can they follow through? Good damage out of Freezer. Hjarnan still running back from this one. He does have barrier and he does have flash, so he should be able to survive. He uses them both, gets back to the tower, and he will live just about.
So first of all, Mithy manages to save the life of Zoro Zero by exhausting the last auto attack from Hjarnan. Now NukeDuck's getting port.
HP. Let's get him port. It just makes that lane more fun. Half HP taken away there by Febiven. Crazy start to this game. It's almost we started where we left off in that last game, which is definitely fine by me. I'd rather see a bit more of an action-packed laning phase to what we saw last time. So in the end, actually, we get both duos in the top lane now. The top laners going down towards the bottom to face off, but look at that CS discrepancy there. Because of those switches, Odo Amne's had a massive lead.
You have stolen the words out of my mouth, Mr. Miller, and the one thing that has also helped Zoro Zero is that he got the kill. he managed to pick up that kill in the top lane. So he's going to be at least even on gold. He also has double buffs. Now Freeze has been stunned by Voidal, and we see Ko coming in.
The Spider's on his way up to this one. Can they actually get in? There is the repel. Where's the cocoon? It goes straight down the middle of them. Freeze actually going to take a lot of damage. Stun comes in. Barrier used. Are they going to dive? No, they're not.
Now that's very smart. Mithy had actually charged the Shield of Daybreak, so if anyone from Cloud9 had stepped further forward, Mithy was going to smack them in the face, stun them under the tower, and that would have made their lives difficult. We talked about how important the opening 10 to 15 minutes were going to be for Cloud9. They have stronger lanes, they have very good champions at these early stages, and you see they're trying to make it work. Ko has made a couple of ganks in this top lane, has got summer spells and a kill under his belt, so it's working, but very importantly, Ninjas and Pyjamas have held onto this tower.
Poking a lot there, though, on towards Freeze. Ko now headed down towards that mid lane. We'll see. We know how, yeah, we know how good Nukeduck is, though, and is he going to be able to get away? There's the cocoon. You can't be so slippery with that up. He's going to put the death mark down. Ko goes into the repel, and that means that Nukeduck may die. He goes back to the shadows, and he's completely fooled them.
That was brilliant! Nukeduck throws down the death mark as Ko starts the repel, so he takes a little trip with him, and then because the death mark shadow is sitting in the middle of the lane, as they chase him towards the river, Nukeduck gets out. That's why I like seeing him on an assassin, on a playmaking champion, because you're not going to have the ability to do that with Lulu. Now, Shaq at level 4, not a lot of gank potential because there's not as much CC from him unless you combo with Leona. Trying to make something happen, decides to back away.
Such an interesting start to this one, and again, Yarnan sticking it up there in that top lane. Gonna hang around for that. And double Doran's blade actually coming out at the start for free, so we'll see how that one actually comes in. We've got the Relic Shield actually picked up by Voidal here at the start, added into his Doran Shield.
So it's the second time we've seen the Relic Shield. If I recall correctly, he did it in the previous game as well. And it's something that Vanda has actually spoken out from, saying that if he's in a lane where there's not much poke potential and he's not going to get harassed down, he doesn't need the stats of the Doran Shield, so he opts to go for the Relic instead. It could be a very similar decision here from Voidal.
Back into mid lane, Febiven actually has the damage down, and Nukeduck going to be knocked again towards that half HP range. Febiven looking confident here and comfortable. 63 CS, yeah, okay, there it is. 63 CS to the 56 currently of Nukeduck Z.
And it's going to be very difficult for Nukeduck to actually get a kill on Febiven without some assistance from Shaka. However, once Shaka grabs level 6 and gets that Assault and Battery, if you combine Assault and Battery, the CC in conjunction with the shadows from Zed and his death mark, it should be a fairly simple kill on that Riven. We'll just need to see where Shaka decides to gank. He has his ultimate available and he set his sights on the fairly low level Hyanan and Voidal. That's 5 and 4. There's no solar flare from Mithy just yet, so we'll see. Charging Vault Breaker doesn't go.
No, doesn't go in for that one. Actually, Voidal had moved forward, doesn't have his stun charged up, so that's something he's going to want to avoid, moving out into a position where they can jump in without any single stun. But honestly, that's just a lot of time that that Shaka is spending now on this top rush without really any results. Just Cloud9 are quite happy to sit back, take all the pressure and farm under their tower.
I think Ninjas and Pyjamas do have a team that scales fairly well, but they need to be careful of the Trundle and Riven as the game goes on. Once again, Ko, seeing that Freeze and Myth Euro have extended, started moving to the top lane. Freeze and Myth realizing that they were in a bad position, they back away well in time. They get out cleanly, and Freeze has actually got a small CS lead over Hyanan, partially because of the Relic Shield and Voidal, and also partially because the ganks have sort of worked out in favor of NIP in terms of getting lane pressure for the AD carry specifically.
Shaka doing the blue buff here. Is he going to take this one, or will that actually be left over for Nukeduck? Ko moving in there. Actually, they do land the cocoon. Are they going to dive him? I didn't think so. A little bit dangerous. We've seen how slippery Nukeduck is there, and Shaka actually will get the blue buff for himself. Look at that. Straight on top of a ward. Position pinged out.
Yeah, we do see Ko backing away. You never really want to dive those Zed because he's got the death mark and, as you said, the shadows to hop around. It's going to be very difficult to lock him down. Now, the rest of NIP, they're about 800 gold behind in total. Zoro Zero continues to fall further behind in CS. It's approaching 25 right now. It's actually 26. And Zoro is going to need a lot more time. He's going to need time to scale up. The problem is, Trundle's still going to outscale him. There is no ignite in this bottom lane. This is going to be quite a difficult dive.
Well, they are going to dive him anyway. Subjugate goes down and, well, Zoro Zero, quite a difficult dive, I was going to say. Wasn't really that difficult of a dive in the end of things. It is going to be Odo Amne that picks that up. Are they going to go Dragon?
Zoro Zero didn't even pop sadism. I think he realized that he got caught by the pillar and he wasn't going to get away, so he saves it. Now they've turned their attention to Shaka. He's got blue. He's going down.
Oh, he's going very, very low from this one. Can he escape? He flashes over the top. There is the repel from Ko coming in. Can they get the finisher? He's going to dive in. Sticks his fangs in. Ko picks up the kill. Here comes the TP though. Zoro Zero coming around the back. He gets cocooned up. Can they kill him off? He does pop sadism this time. And now Nuke Duck's coming in as well. Nuke Duck gets one. Here comes Febiven. I think that's the end of this fight.
Yeah, we do see the kill goes to Nuke Duck. He manages to get the blue buff back for his team. And in all of this situation, Zoro Zero just got melted by that sadism, by the subjugate rather. The fact that he saved his ultimate allowed him to make this play. The rest of Cloud9 are trying to get in range now. This is a 4 versus 3. They're going to try and make a play for Dragon. Teleport is not available, so he's in the region, and I think this is going to be difficult if Shaka tries to steal. He does have Smite available. It hasn't been so good so far.
This could be so dangerous. Stun comes down. They force Nuke Duck to back off with half HP. There they go in for it, but the Dragon is taken by Cloud9. Will they get away from this one though? Shaka is now coming in. Zenith Blade goes right to the back onto Odo Amne. Can they finish off Voidal though? He's the one that's being focused down. He will be finished off. Zoro Zero gets a kill. It's a kill for a Dragon and a turret.
Yeah, we do see the turret going down. Freeze was being chased by Ko though. He's taking a lot of damage.
Let's see if he can escape from this one. Ko going to sink those fans in here in just a second. Barrier actually used. Can the cocoon land? There's a lot of minions around there. Ko chasing him and Freeze doing a fantastic job. But there's the execute.
Yeah, Ko with those sorcerer shoes in the early amp tone was able to get the kill. Ninjas and Pyjamas were dancing around Dragon. They did manage to get the top tower, the bottom tower, and a kill for their side. So I think overall, it was a trade they'll be happy with. However, they did also lose Freeze. So now we see Ko, he's got 3, 2, and 1. He's already getting very scary on that Elise. And if he can continue to make ganks and secure kills, it's going to be very difficult for NIP to focus him down, considering how difficult it is to lock an Elise in the fight. I also thought Shaka was going to go for it. He wasn't even in the fight because he had died previously as well. So, fortunately, wasn't present. Probably why NIP were dancing around the Dragon for so long.
There we see the first turret of the game for Cloud9 Eclipse. That puts them now 1,300 gold in the lead. Couple of items actually coming out. Blade of the Ruin King for both Odo Amne's Trundle and also for Nuke Duck Zed right now. On the other side, Riven for Febiven. He's got that Vamp Scepter in there, got himself the BF Sword, as does Yarnan, as well as Freeze.
And we'll see what they decide to do with them. Now that Cloud9 have got one tower down, the tower that they actually swap their dual lane into first, I almost expect Cloud9 to maybe group up and try force more towers. We see Impaler coming in from behind. Assault and Barry's available. Febiven's in trouble.
This is bad news actually for Febiven. He's going to flash away, but there is the Assault and Battery coming down. They've got the damage. Shaka will actually pick up that kill. There's a teleport from Odo Amne. I'm not sure that he's really going to get anything from this one, but with Elise coming in, Shaka goes down. Such great damage. Can they catch Elise? Oh, the pillar comes in. He dodged away from the cocoon, but look at that damage. There is the ultimate. Here comes Mundo from the side. Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't connect. Voidal came around with his stun ready. He does have Tibbers available, but in the end, it's a 1-for-1 trade.
That was a little bit close by Mithy. He was underestimating just how much damage was coming out of Ko and Odo Amne. With that Blade of the Ruin King and the early magic penetration of Ko, they shredded through Mithy. He did get a good solar flare and managed to survive, but he needs to be a little more careful. If you take another step back, the gank between Shaka and Nuke Duck was actually very intelligent. Shaka saved his Assault and Battery until after Febiven had flashed, so he could chase him down and ensure that Febiven didn't get away. So very smart, coordinated thinking there between that duo lane, and it's something they can rinse and repeat. It's something that every time those ultimates are up, it's basically a guaranteed kill because of how much damage they put down and how much CC gets put down.
Uh-oh, Riven. And Elite's going towards the top there. Zorozio was like, nah, you're not going to do that. Throws the briefcase in, which hit one of the violins, and he will be okay there. LEADUE, as I mentioned before, that play with the Ruin King in for him. Let's talk about, you know, as things progress here, who's going to have the stronger mid-game? I mean, at least for me, is very scary now. 4-2-1, haunting guys, sorcerer shoot. We've seen how much damage he's doing already.
I actually favor Ninjas in Pyjamas because of the fact that they have Assault and Battery and that they have the Solar Flare. I put a lot of importance on these coordinated team fights where when you say you pick a fight around Dragon, Ninjas and Pyjamas are going to be able to zone control, get somebody locked up, they can focus Ko, chase him with Assault and Battery, lock him up with Solar Flare. On the other side, you're reliant on a Flash Tibbers or a Cocoon to connect, and it's just not going to have the same level of effect or guaranteed victory that Ninjas in Pyjamas composition has.
No, but if you land them 99% of the time, which obviously is hard to do, then it could change things. Ko actually getting caught out here. We're going to see LEADUE coming in. Should be able to secure this kill. It will be Shaka actually that picks it up in the end.
Yeah, I wonder if a little bit of just panic. Didn't want to allow Ko to get away. He did burn the flash as well. Deathmark was not used by LEADUE. They didn't need it. They had enough damage put down. Was able to shred his armor. Now they are going to set their sights on Febiven. This is the initiation I was talking about. Febiven's in trouble.
Febiven is in trouble. There's 3 men walking his way. Make that 4 because Freeze is off to the side. Solar Flare comes down. Freeze gets the kill. Another great pick for NIP.
That is why we praise and highlight initiation so effectively. If there were a little bit more minions there, Ninjas in Pyjamas could have grabbed the tower. They're just going to wait for one more wave. They pick up a kill on Febiven on his main champion Riven, and a flash stun from Mithy lands the Q, locks up Febiven, and then just chain the CC together. Ninjas in Pyjamas grab their 3rd tower of the game, going to back and shop, and potentially set up for the next Dragon.
They are 600 gold ahead in this game at this point, as you mentioned about Dragon. That comes up in less than a minute's time, so that could be the next big thing in this game. We see a couple more items coming in. Giant's Belt, the workings of the Sunfire Cape really for Zorozio, along with that Spectre's Cowl as well. Other side of the map, Bloodthirst is in for both the AD carry and the mid lane. I want to also look at how many wards Ninjas in Pyjamas have down. If you look across the river and in and around the red buff of Cloud9, Ninjas in Pyjamas have got a lot of information to work with. They know the movings, they know the positioning of Cloud9, and it's allowing them to basically go for that dive. It's what enabled them to go for that dive behind the turret. Now, Dragon starting in 15 seconds, it's also going to give them information to work with when they try to re-engage. Freeze is a little bit disjointed from the team, and we do see teleports out for both top lanes, but everybody's so tightly knit and so tightly grouped, it's not even going to be necessary. Are they going to set up a trap? No, they're not. They're just going to go for it. They are going in there for that Dragon. It's down to half HP already. They are too late for this one. Shaka coming to the front, but Dragon's been taken. Shaka getting himself stunned up from that one. Super Mega Death Rock, he won't come in, but Shaka drops anyway. 1 kill for 1 right now. There is Zed being focused on, but he will go down. That is bad news here for NIP. Mithy's gonna fall. Zorozio, you're tanky, but not tanky enough, Sunshine. And now they chase after Freeze. Febiven in pursuit of this one. This could be an ace. Good flash from Freeze. Yeah, he manages to get away from any of the CC that could come down from Cloud9. 4 members of Ninjas in Pyjamas go down. They arrived late for the fight. They tried to jump on Cloud9, but they weren't grouped up. Freeze was coming in from the side. The rest of Cloud9 was coming from the top of the river. There was a decent solar flare, but not the strongest. Now Cloud9 grabbed themselves 2 towers as the bottom and middle turrets fall, and Cloud9 regain control. 4,000 gold in the lead. Shaka didn't really have an impact in there. They blew him up straight away, and to be honest, LEADUE, I think, only survived as long as he did because of the invulnerability time there of that death mark that he had going on. Just not a good fight for Ninjas in Pyjamas. We'll see how that gold has once again swung the other way. Almost 29.6 thousand as we see here Freeze's last second flash again. Yeah, it does manage to get away. Just catching a little bit of a mix up on the replay PC there, but yeah, you know, the fight, I think it was poorly decided from Ninjas in Pyjamas. They came in late, they were not grouped up efficiently enough, and I'm never a fan of that split when you've got a priority like Freeze, for example, not in range. Now, Zorozio's got caught up by the Pillar of Ice. Yeah, but will they get the kill on him? There is the jump off Coke. Not even going to go for the cocoon there. Zoro actually bit of comeback. He might have thought about that one. But Cloud9, you see the shift here. They're going to go through the enemy jungle. Voidal, importantly, now has his sight stone. Something that he was lacking before that dragon. And the kills coming in. Zoro here being focused on. Goes very low. Mithy actually dives into the middle of them. Odoamne is tanking things up. But here comes Riven. And Mithy is dead.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he sacrificed his life to save Zoro Zero. The Super Mega Death Rocket comes up, flies wide, and we talked about how strong Cloud9 were going to be in this early to mid-game stage. All of their champions have hit this peak, and they're onto the inhibitor turret. Mithy's not there, nor is Solar Flare, and we'll see what impact Zoro Zero can have as he's going to join the fight late.
Not messing around here, Cloud9 just bullying their way straight in. They got the tank down healthy, you could see. Although the Super Mega Death Rocket didn't take Zoro Zero down, it took him so low that he had to wait longer on the base before he came back out. They couldn't fight for that one. They're going to lose red buff here, along with that inhibitor turret. Will Cloud9 try for anything more? Now,
what Cloud9 are doing very well with this composition, while they lack 5v5 initiation power, while they lack that strong team fight, they have great skirmish ability. All of their champions in the 1v1s, 2v2s do very, very well. So that whole play in the top lane stemmed from the fact that Odoamne and Co were able to catch Zoro Zero. They forced him low, forced him back, and because Ninjas in Pyjamas lost a member and they were reacting slowly, Cloud9 could grab a turret without being contested. There was no threat of a Solar Flare, there was no threat of an Assault and Battery because they got rid of the main tank. So as long as Cloud9 can keep getting those skirmishes near to objectives, they can grab the objective as soon as they win the skirmish.
We're touching on a 5,000 gold lead at this point of things. And Ko here going to be able to take his blue buff over and over again. That's something we didn't really talk about there, but always good when you've got two champions in the mid lane that can live without it.
Yeah, it's very helpful. You know, manaless on both Nukeduck and Febiven's champions. Nukeduck this time around does have this blue. I think for Zed, it's maybe a little more impactful because it does give you that energy regen. Febiven, the cooldown reduction is obviously going to be very important to him. As it stands, 2, 2, and 3 on that Riven. He's at very good positioning once these fights have broken out, but I think this particular match, it's all about Ko. It's all about how strong his Elise has been. And in all fairness, Shaka's ganks have been strong, but it hasn't offered the same level of impact that Ko's Elise does.
Odoamne as well. I mean, he's made itemization quite simple for him, really. If you look at the team that they've got there, no magic damage, I'm just going to stack a load of armor.
It's the smart thing to do. I mean, when you've got your Haunting guys already completed on Elise, because your base damages are so high and percentage based, you just look for penetration. You get through all the MR that your opponents have built up, and that's part of the reason Ko was blowing people up during the laning phase. Now that he's got that Warden's Mail and he's working towards a Randian's Omen, it's also going to mitigate the team fight power that NIP has, because once they get in, you know, Zed, Mundo, and Fi, they're melee, they want to run around. I mean, so is Leona. You mitigate their movement speed with that active, and it makes team fights so much more difficult for NIP.
And it doesn't matter how much armor. I mean, it's great for them now that we see armor coming out from Mundo as well, because he'll steal 40% of that away when he puts down his ultimate in there as well. Great position that Cloud9 are currently in, but I have to wonder, because that last game we did have a stale portion of it where neither team could really find an opening to get through things, and we see there Odoamne does not really care about Mithy and the rest of the team there.
NIP was so afraid of that one, they caught Odoamne completely alone. Ninjas in Pyjamas didn't have enough vision elsewhere on the map to know that, however, which is why they didn't commit. If you look at the vision, it's very defensive wards for NIP now, as opposed to fairly aggressive wards from Cloud9. So they stun Odoamne up, nobody else goes in, says, no, that's a Randian's Blade of the Ruined King Trundle, do not want. Now Shaka charging that Vault Breaker. So again, that's a very clear initiation. You see the Shadow just being used for scouting, and NIP are going to try this Dragon fight again. They're 5k gold down. If they go for a straight up 5v5 and don't land everything perfectly, I actually feel like Cloud9 are far enough ahead that they can win a team fight fairly easily.
Voidal and Yarnan actually sat at the back of this one. They've given the position away there. Ko's
good start.
Taken a bit of a blast as well, so he's down to half HP. Let's see if NIP now say, you know what guys, we can fight for this one. Voidal takes a lot of damage. Dragon has been taken. Do Cloud9 want to fight for it though? Looks like they do. Voidal there at the front. Does have Flash, does have Tibbers. There's a cocoon onto Zoro Zero, but they're happy with the Dragon.
Yeah, NIP need to be very, very careful. As we said, if they don't get a 3 or a 4-man Solar Flare, or they don't get Hyanan dead immediately, The amount of damage from all of the sources of Cloud9 is just too far ahead right now with that 5,000 gold. You compare, you know, Febiven, Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and Brutalizer. He's caught Mithy, we'll see what he can do. Gets exhaust.
Gets the exhaust from him. That, to be honest, that's a great little fight for him there. Exhaust down, stops it being used elsewhere. Oh no, Omni does get blasted down by Freeze, who right now has the Bloodthirster Zeal in there. If you compare that to his opposite number, Bloodthirster Zeal, but a Last Whisper on top of it as well.
Traditionally, when you pick a Jinx into these types of comps where you've got a Zed and a Vi on the opposing team, if Ninjas in Pyjamas hadn't struggled these last 10 minutes, they could just dive here on him, throw down that Assault and Battery, throw down the Death Mark, get rid of him. But what Cloud9 have done quite well in the rest of their composition is they've got damage in the mid, damage in the jungle, damage in the top lane. So even if you get rid of Hyanin, you have to go so deep to get to him that you leave the rest of your back line at risk of being killed. So these fights could come down to whoever can kill your opponent's AD carry first, and then just do cleanup duty for the rest of the team.
And they push that top. Let's not forget that the inhibitor turret was already taken away from that lane, which means that inhibitor sits open and quite a juicy target, I think, here for Cloud9, and that's really what got the ball rolling for them in the last one. I mean, the ball rolled very, very slowly, don't get me wrong, but that's what started it all off, getting in there for that inhibitor quite early on as well.
Yeah, and once again, now that we're in this mid-game, now that Ninjas in Pyjamas have got more damage and they've scaled a little bit more, you're starting to see how hesitant Cloud9 are to really go for these bigger 5v5s. They didn't really go for the fight in the Dragon Pit. The Cocoon didn't land, so Cloud9 didn't fight. Ninjas in Pyjamas, this is a smaller group. This might be a better situation for them to open. Shaka may consider going in. Look for the Solar Flare or the Assault and Battery. That's the only way NLP can start this. Cocoon is down, and again, Cloud9 going to be very, very careful about this position.
Hyanin in particular, he stepped forward there to go towards the inhibitor, and you see that Shaka immediately, Shaka goes straight towards him and maybe get things started off. Ku's also down by half health, so I don't think feeling so confident right now of Cloud9 that they're going to go for that one. One thing they do have on their side is that they can have complete vision control. They're going to force NIP to work as a unit and try and regain some of that vision in their own jungle.
Yeah, and Cloud9 are also going to suffer from a similar problem that NIP have. Because you've got like melee champions when Elisa's in Spider form with Trundle and Riven, if they dive onto a priority target like Nuke Duck or like Freeze, Mithy can get a very easy solar flare. Can really lock them up for a prolonged period of time. So Cloud9 playing it safe, trying to feel it out. Can we get the inhib? Can we poke it low enough? And when they realized it was too risky being clumped up on those stairs, they back out safely. Cloud9 are going to continue looking for a skirmish game. I think they should try to do the split push with Zed, split push with Riven, split push with Trundle, and see if they can win a skirmish, see if they can win a 1v1 or a 2v2, and then go for an objective. That would be the decision that I think Cloud9 should be trying to do.
Well, they've got Trundle and Riven, but they're in the same lane, pushing up mid right now, trying to gain positional advantage here, and to be honest, I think that they've got this one almost for free. Freeze is going to throw out the culling, and in there, finally Ninjas in Pyjamas react to this one. We saw Nuke Duck recalling, throwing though down to really almost half health just from a couple of auto attacks there out of Hyanin.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage, he's got fairly good range as well. Ko is hanging out in the wings. A flash Tibbers or a Cocoon could be the way to go, and Zoro is going to get caught out. The rest of the team hasn't committed just yet. In order to do a tower dive, they need to get a Cocoon or a Tibbers on a super squishy target. Zoro is not somebody that can...
Oh, there it is! There's Tibbers! The Cocoon lands as well! Perfect coming out there for Cloud9. Mithy tries to escape. He'll be finished off by Febiven now. That's 2 for nothing. Tower's going to go down. They may be able to get 2 inhibs if they do it right here.
Yeah, Cloud9 have got enough damage and enough HP to make this work. Febiven was trying to stone them out. Shaka didn't even get to use his Assault and Battery because the fight was over before it began. When you have initiation power like Vi and Leona, if you don't initiate, you can't defend. And right now Cloud9 played that perfectly, landing the Cocoon, managing to follow it up.
2 inhibitors, as I thought, go down for Cloud9. That leaves them 12-17 kills up. It leaves them almost 10,000 gold in the lead. They are in firm control of this game.
Yes, and they've got the tools that they need to actually close out this game a little bit sooner. Because of the fact that Riven and Elise are so strong in this situation, being 10,000 gold up and having a strong item advantage, if they can get NIP to sit still in the same location, they can just rinse and repeat. Right now, NIP are going very deep. They're trying to pull a Cloud9. They're trying to make Cloud9 come to them. They've got 4 sweeping lenses, and I think Cloud9 are aware of it.
Yeah, judging by the pings, I'd say so. All on top of the NIP heads. Okay, they have Odamne almost go in there, throws his pillar down, sees the NIP are there. One thing that I did found a little bit strange is that they didn't put a few more wards deeper into the river here so that they could see NIP crossing over. They've got one in Baron Pit, so they know if that were to be started off. But look at this, Jinx and Trundle headed down towards the bottom lane. The wave is pushing itself right now.
That is a massive minion wave. Ninjas and Pyjamas need to back away because they're going to lose another tower. Cloud9, if they get to this one, Blade of the Rune King on Oda1 is going to be so strong. Nukeduck has set his sights onto Ko and he might go down.
Yeah, I think he will. He kind of repelled there for the raid, but unfortunately they weren't actually there for him for the taking. But look at this, top turret goes down, and there's your teleport gone, 0-0.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Burns a cooldown, ends up cancelling it just to try and save it. Dragon is up, however, they are going to try and surround NIP. Voidal's going in, he doesn't use Tempest just yet.
Wow, that just single target stun there on towards Nukeduck, but he didn't die there, Nukeduck. Actually, he did. The Ignite finished him off. That's 2 kills. Chaka's gonna flash, but Febivin will chase him down for another one. 0-0, honestly, they don't need to care about him. They can push.
This is the game now for Cloud9. They've got their AD carry still alive and at full health. Febivin is on low HP, but look at the super minions. They're in the top of the base. That's a flash from Freeze. NIP have surrendered.
NIP surrender and Cloud9 take it 2-0.